What's going on, everybody? This is masterguil, and welcome back to more Adastra. In the last episode, oh boy, oh man, in the last episode, we had an interesting conversation with Cassius, starting to get to know him a little bit more now. He knows that the cat's out of the bag. No pun intended. That we are more intelligent than we originally led ourselves to think that we were not. And we were able to see him because he's in rough shape, but he's still alive and roaming around in the dungeons. And we need to find a way to get him out. Then we saw Cassius getting stolen out of his freaking mind. But apparently, that's the only way to get in contact with the parents. Had another out of body experience with the so called monitor, and they revealed that Marco has needs to carry out the plans that Mira once did, and that's unification with people. I nah. Trust me, I'm still invested in it. I'm still invested in the story, but it seems like everything is a bit more complex than they originally thought, and there are more plans that no more steps that we need to do in order to finally get back home, and so what's going on right now? Neferu and Marco are tailing Alexios to see exactly what he is up to. And as I continue to keep saying, do not trust the cat. We do not trust Alexios, especially since he is the one that first told Neferu of our intelligence. And he's also been telling people that Cassius, once he becomes emperor, is going to get rid of the triumvirates. He was the one that started it. Well, we kind of ones that kind of instigated it because we were there when Cassius and Virginia were talking about it, and Marco was foolish enough to tell Alexios about it. So, of course, he's going to blab to someone. Now, we are going to the island to see what he's up to. So let's jump right into it. Luckily, there's another sightseer craft in the gazebo, though it looks much older and the floor on this one isn't transparent, which I'm fine with. Irad and I gaze into the icky blackness of the water beneath my feet while sailing to the island. Nefer is quiet most of the time, looking confident in everything he does, and he prefers the craft. Finally, he reaches a paw out chivalrously to pull me on board. The lake laps quietly around us as we approach the island, a black mass amongst the ripples of reflected moonlight in the waves. I immediately spot Alex's craft sitting on the beach near where we had our little picnic all those weeks ago. Ah, good times, good times. We travel a little further up the shore, out of sight of the craft before we drift onto the beach. Neferu holds a paw again to help me down, even though I don't need it. As I settle onto the sand, though, he leans in close to whisper in my ear. Wait here. Unfortunately, I believe simian footfalls are louder than that of a jackal. Okay, but call me if something happens, or you need help. I see a smile on Neferu's face, and though it's amused, it's not in a condescending way. It's not in a condescending way at all. Of course, my friend. And with that, the jackal disappears into the night, leaving me with only the little craft and the gentle sounds of the waves to keep me company. I don't have to wait long before I hear voices coming from further up the beach, and I know right away that it's Neferu and Alex. I wait for a few moments to see if Neferu will call my name. When he doesn't, I frown and look around before quietly making my way towards the voices. It's not like I expect he needs my help, but I don't want to miss anything important, and I feel like the moment of confrontation with Alex should involve me. As I get closer, I'm able to make out the words, and to see that the two of them are right on the edge of the woods, standing just a few feet apart. I crouch and hide along the tree line, and as I just listen more closely to what they're saying. Beautiful night. I've always wanted to come to the island and gaze at the moon and planet, away from the lights of the palace. Oh, I see. It is incredibly beautiful here, isn't it? While he's speaking in his typical pleasant tone, I could definitely tell that Alex seems a bit nervous, his voice tight and a bit out of breath. So, yes? Alex looks around nervously. I heard you speaking just before I happened upon you. Is there someone else with you? Me? Oh, no, definitely not. It's rather embarrassing, but sometimes I just talk to myself. Don't be embarrassed. It's something that I do as well. Oh, I see. Alex seems to be relaxing a bit under Neferu's treatment, but tenses up again at the next sentence. Though I usually don't whisper to trees. Now that is a bit odd. I see Alex's ears flatten, though I'm a bit confused at the statement. Whispering the trees? I, I, uh... Alex doesn't seem to have the answer ready and stutters in most guilty way imaginable. Weirdly enough, though, he slides up closer to Neferu. Neferu, you're the one that's acting a bit odd right now, you know. The small cat's demeanor suddenly changes to a more sultry approach, relaxing his shoulders and drifting a paw down his body. It doesn't seem natural at all, though. I let Neferu smile as he stares down at the approaching cat. He's still smiling when Alex reaches up to cup his cheeks and kiss him round the lips. Hey, yo! I blink, surprised at the sudden turn this scenario has taken. Neferu looks anything but surprised, though, and grinning throughout the kiss as Alex tries to kiss deeper. What is this forced makeout session? This is just... No. No. Alex, what are you doing? What is this game that we're playing right now? Finally, the cat seems to notice a lack of response from the Jackal as he draws back, frowning. Neferu shakes his head. Oh, Alex, you know that's my technique. It will not work on me. Now, why don't we have a look at that tree? Alex freezes up, looking around, and that's when I think he spots me. Who is that? Neferu turns his head just slightly in my direction, and that's when Alex makes his move. He sends a kick sailing between the Jackal's legs, and just as I'm ready in myself to intervene, Neferu's paw is there, solidly stopping the attack. There's a pause, Neferu holding Alex's leg, forcing him to balance on one foot as the Jackal's smile turns smug. What a pity you're not the first to try such a move on me. I've learned people on this move fight dirty. Alex squeaks, but balls up a fist anyway, sending a straight punch square into Neferu's stomach. It connects with a hollow thud, bouncing off the Jackal's abs like they're made of bricks, Neferu only grunting slightly in response. Oof! Now that's a bit more like it. Suddenly, Neferu uses a leg sweep to sweep Alex's only foot off the ground, sending the cat onto his back in the sand. So much for cats always landing on their feet. Oh wait, one is already locked up. Neferu follows him down, pinning the cat there, almost engulfing Alex with his much bigger body. Ah! Get off me! Help! Alex spots me as I come out into the open, standing next to the two of them. Marco, help! This Jackal's gone bad! I fold my arms and stand over him, and Alex quickly realizes that I'm definitely not here to help him. What are you two doing? I told you, I know nothing, Marco. Why must you keep attacking me like this? Alex continues to struggle meekly under the Jackal, not even looking like he's trying to escape. Attack you? Then why is it my stomach that is sore? Alex doesn't seem to be listening, and tears start brimming in his eyes as he begins to sob. Now I'm fully convinced that his sobs in the bathing room were all an act. Marco? I turn my attention to Neferu, who's still smiling as always. About 10 paces directly in front of me is a large tree, larger than the others that surround it. Do you see it? I look ahead and immediately see what Neferu is talking about. The tree noticeably larger than the others, its branches stretching dozens of feet into the air. The leaves look like silver in the moonlight. Yes? Go up to it, circle it, and see if you can find a hollow. I do as I'm told, feeling a little apprehensive as I step just inside the dark woods. Wait! Neferu! Marco! I don't understand. Why are you doing this? I realize at that moment how much I'm trusting Neferu here. I have no idea what's happening at all. The trunk of the tree is thick, enough that I wouldn't be able to touch hands if I were be able to hug it. I start looking for the hollow Neferu described. As I walk around the tree, I immediately spot one on the other side of it. I look into the black hole, feeling a bit nervous at what I might find in there. What if just a freaking face hugger just like pops out of nowhere? I stop as a tiny red light in the hollow flares to light with my voice before fading again. What the? It happens again, pulsing to the sound of my voice. You found it? Yeah, and there's a little red light in there, and that's lighting up with my voice. I watch the hypnotic ebb and flow of the light as I speak. Thank you, Marco. You may come back now. Gratefully, I return to the side of my Chemian friend, noticing that Alex's demeanor has completely changed now. He's sullen, though almost expressionless as he lays under the Jackal, not even pretending to be trying to escape at this point. Well, that settles it, doesn't it, Alex? Alex remains silent, staring up at the sky. What is it? Neferu looks up at me. Classic Ormofend parent tech. They often combine plant life and machinery to create their gadgets. Rather ingenious, and they've recently been sharing their knowledge with us on Chemia. What a mistake that was. Wait, but what is it? A communication device. It uses the branches as a massive antenna, capable of transmitting information great distances, though it's likely transmitting to Adastra City. There is likely a second spy there who then beams the information through a much more powerful machine, straight to Amorpha. Neferu grins in Alex's face. Isn't that right, Alex? Once again, Alex remains silent, seeming to have shut down. So, do you want to be the one to tell Cassius, Marco? That finally gets a reaction out of Alex, but as he stiffens up, fur bristling Alex, he snarls on Neferu. And for what reason, Jackal? We're all spies here, including you. Especially you. Oh? I have no idea what you're talking about, Alex. Neferu's tone says otherwise. Alex continues to glare about the Jackal, his fur starting to lay flat again. Oh, you think I'm stupid? You think I could just let you screw me without any regard to your intentions, without studying you? I know why you're here, Jackal. Do enlighten me, cat. You're floundering here, looking to make a name for yourself. I can't even say that sentence with a straight face as of right now without thinking of Gambit. Ooh, I'm about to make a name for myself. I'm sorry. You're flattering here. Look at that, make a name for yourself. The Pharaoh particularly tossed you off the planet to attempt to cultivate a hopeless alliance on Adastra. Neferu's eyes narrow. How unfulfilling must it be for this to be second-born, unable to escape the shadow of your brother, unable to make father proud, stuck on this moon getting your balls kicked in by the bigot wolves? Alex sounds and looks almost unrecognizable. Even your sisters, the third and fourth-born, have secured positions greater prestige than you. I see Neferu grip tighter on Alex, but the cat goes on. In an era where the royal family have already given up so much power, you're desperate behind that facade of confidence, terrified of the withering away into historical insignificance. You'll be less than a footnote in the Chemian history books. Neferu isn't smiling anymore, and I could tell that he's been caught off guard just as much as me by the cat's complete change in character. Still, he keeps his hold on the cat remarkably coolly. I would choose my words more carefully if I were you, considering your position right now. As I was saying, we'll be reporting this to the Emperor as soon as we return to the palace. Alex sees to the flate again, apparently satisfied with the hits he just gotten into the Jackal. What do you want? Don't play stupid. What do you want with me? You've known I was a spy since you first got here, and you're only doing this now because you want something. Oh, how considerate of you. Well, Nefer looks up at me. What do you think we want, Marco? We want full access to the archives. Alex snorts. I don't have that. Then get it. We know how close you are to Cassius. Make something up as to why you need it, then grant us access. For what reason? To help Amicus. Cassius will not be harmed by this. You have until next week, otherwise the Emperor will know of your treason. Alex remains quiet, and Nefer seems satisfied with that, pushing out the cat and getting up to his feet. Let us be off. The Jackal speaks briskly to me before turning on his heel and making his way back to the craft. I look down at Alex, watching as the cat simply stares at the moons, not even acknowledging me. The way back is a bit awkward, Neferu quiet, clearly upset. I haven't really ever seen him like this before. I have to remind myself that I probably rarely see the real Neferu. It reminds me so much of Akechi. Well, is literally his persona-wise. He's putting on an act just like Alex, just like they both have to. And though I'm curious about his family situation, I have enough sense not to pry. Instead, I ask what I'm worried about most. What's to stop Alex from betraying us? He could just as easily tell Cassius about our plot. The Jackal is staring off into the water, his elbows on the railings of the sightseer as he hunches over. He won't. He can't bear the thought of Cassius knowing of his betrayal. The usual confidence and natural smugness that's usually in the Jackal's voice is completely missing, his tone flat. You sure? Yes. His love for Cassius is almost equal to that of his loyalty to Amorpha, which is why I assured him that Cassius wouldn't be harmed by our plans. We have little to worry about. The Jackal's mood puts me off from asking any more questions, and we sail the rest of the way to the palace in silence. Three days later, Alex is able to gain full access to the archives. He doesn't explain to us how he did it. Instead, simply notifying Neferu of the specific time he opened the archives for us and to be ready. I don't have to argue to come along this time. Instead, Virginia tells me that I'll need to go if we're to erase my profile from the palace's database. Doing this will allow me to leave the palace without being killed by Kong. Just another last resort in case things go bad. Wait, didn't we actually leave though? We went to the island and we were fine. Then again, they did establish at the near beginning of the story that Kong can only go out so far, and he doesn't go to the island. So I guess we were safe, but still. Neferu stays behind this time. Deciding it'll be best considering he's not exactly needed for what we're about to do. Alex walks stiffly ahead of us, not speaking or really acknowledging us in any way. I find it unnerving after knowing the cat for so long, though Virginia doesn't seem bothered at all. We walk to a portion of the palace that I haven't been to very often, mostly because I was never shown the area. Alex comes through the door as he presses his hand to, and unlike the other black panels, this one flashes a green color before the door opens. Whoa, that's the archives? I was imagining things to be more of a library, but that's crazy. We walk inside the room, and I get my first look at the archive. I guess I expect the rows of bookshelves, exactly, full of some type of digital storage or whatever the wolves might use. Instead, I'm greeted by the sight of a giant blue glowing sphere with a honeycomb pattern covering its surface. What's most striking about it is the swirling characters that appear and disappear just over the surface. There's symbols I don't recognize, not any that I've seen on Adastra before. Sitting in front of the floating sphere are two stone dragons, mouths open and silent snarls. Alex seems to be in a hurry as he walks up to the globe. Without hesitation, he sticks his paw into the swirling blue, and the characters that swirl seem to excuse me. Sorry about that. And congregate around it before the whole thing pulses. This seems to satisfy the cat as he turns away. That should give you full access. You're on your own from here. With that, the cat leaves. I watch him disappear out the door, for the first time feeling a bit sad at how our relationship has changed. Virginia remains unbothered, though, walking onto the blue sphere as I follow. I stand there awkwardly for a moment before clearing my throat. So, what is this thing? The archive. Yeah, but it's parental, yes and no. I don't know how it works. It was also used as a method of communication with the parents before they ceased contact, hence the meditation pillow. Virginia adjusts at the pillow before she leans forward slightly, a streak of blue light wrapping around her head briefly before she leans back. It connects to the host's brain, similar to the lingua, and operates on mind control. Wow. Yes, I haven't used it often, but it's fairly easy to control. You'll find out soon enough. Oh. I feel a bit nervous, but Virginia focuses back on the blue globe. Suddenly, a small screen appears over the sphere, and I see what looks like the amphitheater. What day was the final trial? I'm about to answer when suddenly Virginia just waits me into silence, focusing on the screen again. I see the scene change to a bloody sunset, and I feel the same anxiety that I felt the day as I see Cato and Amicus appear on the screen, followed by me and Cassius. The angle is high, and the scene is a bit distant, probably from the palace, but I can make everyone out clearly. Cassius strips and hurries down the steps to the amphitheater, and I want to look away, but don't as Cato turns on Amicus and punches him in the face. Virginia's reaction is small but noticeable, clearly surprised by Cato's brutality. What follows is the awkward stage posing and the pin. Then, the footage of me using the Nervo on Cassius. This is followed by Amicus tearing off Cato's visor. After that, I run off screen, and I get to watch his drones descend on Amicus as he suddenly goes limp, as they, I assume, stun him. Virginia watches all of this with an open mouth until Amicus is escorted away and Cato is picked up by a small ship that lands in the middle of the amphitheater. Then she shakes her head. Males. Why do we say that? Why do we say it like that? Like, men. Women. Oh my god, we're so sexist of each other. It's crazy. Virginia sighs out of frustration as the screen fades. So you got the footage? I filed it away into a domain accessible by both me and Neferu. We'll figure out a way to use it delicately. An investigation into the crash? This is something that I brought up to Virginia and Neferu before we came here, even though both seemed skeptical it could be useful in a way. That even Cato wouldn't be so devious as to kill his own friend, a friend that happened to be the Emperor. Even now Virginia sighs as if an annoying inconvenience, but focuses for a moment until she seems satisfied. Done. All documents related to the investigation are now in the same location. We'll go over it later. Well, at least you and Neferu can. There's a momentary pause. Well, that was easy. What do you expect? Parental tech makes everything fast and easy. Yeah, I suppose. So, are you ready to use it? I think so. Virginia smiles at me. Don't worry, it's easy. Simply keep your mind clear of anything except your objective. Your profile and how it should be wiped clean from the archive. My profile. I try to think of how I should imagine a profile, but Virginia stops me. You're already thinking too much. Just this, your profile. Wipe it from the archives. I swallow hard, but allow Virginia to gently push me forward until one of the tendrils touched my head. The tendrils touch my head. It's a cool feeling at first. Then suddenly my body seizes up involuntarily as it feels like my entire brain twitches. Keep focus on your objective. My profile. Gone. My profile. Erase it. My profile. Delete it from the archives. A dagger. Screams. Pain. Blood. Hissing breath. Spurring red. Absolute anguish. Marco! No, please! Don't leave me here! Please come back to me! You can't leave me alone like this! Edgar screams right into my ear, and I've never heard him sound like this before. It's horrible, and I know I need to confront him and tell him that I'm not leaving, but my voice is gone, and air hisses from my throat. No! 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 Speak to me! Edgar's voice rises in pitch, panicking, becoming desperate. Then it all stops. You can prevent this, but only if you submit yourself to the benevolent will of the parents. Will you? What? Hey, whoa, hold on. Hold on, let's back up a bit. Wait. Did we just see a glimpse of something? Apparently something happened to us, and that's causing that's causing Amicus to freak out. Something tells me that something's gonna happen to Marco, and Amicus is going to freak the hell out. And it's telling us to submit to the will of the parents. Oh, that's. I feel like if I were in this situation, I would say no, because my will is my own. As villainous as that sounds, but we should be in charge of our own destiny and our own fate. As nothing is true, everything is permitted. I just wanted to have a reason to use that line. But coming from Revelations, I could kind of empathize with what Ezio was saying at the ending. We must be in charge of our own destiny with the choices that we make. If tragedy strikes it, or it is beautiful. Not exactly his words, but basically it just means either good or bad. The results of it is decisions that we make. Let me do this, cause I don't know. I don't know. I don't like making choices like this. They said we were just shown something that could potentially lead to Marco dying. And it was something that could be prevented. Could we change it? And if we don't, what happens then? Submit to the will of the parent. And we can stop it. But do we have any reason to trust the parents? To trust the monitor? We know nothing of them. So how can we submit to the will if we know nothing about them? That's something that can't really be trusted. And we can't just trust blindly. I can't submit easily to that. Especially with something that we know nothing of. Other than they're everywhere. This is just well, I did make a save point just in case something does happen and we could just go back to it. So I I do not feel comfortable with this. I'm personally going to say no. I gasp and pull back, head reeling. I feel soft but strong paws grip me around the shoulders. Are you alright? I look around, wide-eyed, feeling almost sick as that weird feeling of control and brain suddenly leaves. I I don't know what to say, and Virginia glances back at the spear. Might not be suited for a simian brain. Come? Yes, Virginia. Locate Marco's profile. There is no such profile archived. Well, you did it at least. Let's get you back to Neferu's room. We walk through the halls, Virginia having to help because of my unsteady feet. I'm stunned, feeling as if I just come up from another drug trip. But it's not what I felt, or even the visions of violence that had me shaken up. It's Amicus' screams of despair that linger in my head. I have to see him as soon as possible. I have to make sure he's alright. You smell so good. Amicus has me pinned to the floor on the little blanket that I brought with me. Oh god, here we go again. He's smothering me with his big body grinding down against me as he lips and nips at my neck. I haven't even been here for a minute. Wait! What if Calm sees? I gasp around the legs and Amicus responds by holding my head in his giant paws, keeping me steady as he starts to push his hips against me, his thighs forcing my legs apart. Dude! Come on, man! It's not... Why? Amicus mumbles into my throat. Then let him watch. A freaking exhibitionist over here. Amicus, come on, man. Calm isn't watching, as far as I know. Somehow I've been able to convince Cassius to give us more privacy. Actually, I think I just grossed him out when I asked, wrinkling his nose that he extracted Calm to keep the drone at the top of the ladder this time. At that moment, I feel the wolf's hard leg pressing against my ass, and even though I'm in my underwear robes, I pull back. Whoa, not now, Amicus. Amicus goes on nuzzling me, moving to my face and locking lips with me for several seconds while he continues to push his hips against me. Kick him in the nuts again. It's not the time for that. He finally pulls back a little. I know. I'm just playing around a little. I've been down here too long. I love you. Everything about you. Clearly. That's all I'm able to say before he starts to kiss me again, licking and sucking as I am at least glad that he tastes like they're providing him with that mouthwash stuff down here. I've never seen Amicus so horny before, which is saying something. His paws gripping and stroking at me almost desperately as he muscle kisses every inch of my neck and face. He pulls his body down against mine, his considerable chest and belly crushing me flat against the ground. Help! Help! And when his muscle starts dipping down lower, snuffling against my chest and under my robes, I decide that I've had enough. I reach around to grab his upraised rear, getting a handful of thick furry ass and my fingers squeeze dangerously close to the spot under his tail. Predictably, Amicus gasps in surprise and pulls back, quickly sitting up so that his rear is safely pressed against the blanket that I have room to finally set up myself. What was that for? For not letting me catch my breath. And I know you don't like things near your butt. Well, the Emperor shouldn't have things near their butt. I roll my eyes at his silly but understandable insecurity and crawl to Amicus to sit in his lap, the wolf eagerly pushing me in. I love you. I love you too. Amicus rubs his paws up and down my arms and shoulders, still just filling me out. I can't wait to get out of here. Normal hiding when I'm Emperor. I'm going to show you the real Adastra. Being stuck behind these walls is not how the Emperor's beautiful lover should be treated. I touch back, pressing my hands over his paws and resting my head against his chest. Ouch. Ow, I hit my head on my headphones, listening to the rumble of his voice. Oh? And what's the real Adastra? Amicus pulls his paw away for just a moment to wave it dismissively before returning it to press against my chest. These politics. It doesn't represent the moon's true face. I need to take you to the other cities and landscapes. The people are vastly different too, from region to region. I listened to him contentedly for a few minutes, happy to just hear him speak again, reminded how easy it is for us to just talk to each other. And we actually have time to talk. Kane was in a different city on official business, so Cassius had granted us a little more extra time than the last visit. Amicus rocks back and forth, and I pet the fur on his chest, listening to his heartbeat. It's clear that they allow him to bathe down here, but the lack of any perfume leaves only the slight smell of his natural musk. While I miss the lavender smell I'm used to, I don't mind the masculine scent he's giving off, especially after our little reunion just now. Oi. I want to see her forever, feeling completely calm and safe for the first time this week. I know it has to end though, and there's so much to tell the wolf, so I pull back, looking up at Amicus's face. Amicus? Yes? I need to talk to you about something. Go on. Amicus leans down, pressing his nose against my hair and inhaling deeply. It's about the parents, I think. I need to talk to you about something they showed me. The snuffling in my hair pauses, and Amicus absorbs what I just said. The parents? Yeah. The parents? I sigh, wondering if I'm going to have just as much trouble convincing Amicus of this as I did with everyone else. I still remember the look Neferu gave me when I told him about the drug trip I had. Amicus seems to sense my frustration and hugs me a little tighter. Hey, I'm just surprised. I believe you. I have no reason not to. He notices my head again. Did they come to you in a dream, or...? It's sort of. I tell Amicus what happened in the hallway in front of the meditation room. What? I pull through his shocked exclamations and go on to describe the dreams I've been having as well. What? But why wouldn't you tell me this? I shrug against his body. I forgot about them as soon as I woke up. I didn't remember until after what happened with Cassius. Well, I feel Amicus' chest puff up with pride. Sounds like I really am meant to be emperor, eh? That's what they said, but you know what else? But you know what else this means? The monitors know I'm here. They're okay with it, so I guess it's not really even illegal, right? There's a pause. I mean, it may have been just a dream, but it's nice to hear nevertheless. Also, stay away from that room. While I find it funny that Cassius is using Somni to make contact, I'd rather you not use it. Amicus kisses the top of my head, and I let out a sigh of expiration. I didn't do it on purpose, and you said you believed me. Amicus lets out a chuckle that rumbles through his torso and into my back. It's a comforting feeling, and despite my annoyance, I find myself pressing deeper against him. I believe that you saw these things, but who could say if it was real or not? Sometimes I have dreams of entities that I believe are the parents, but I don't necessarily believe it actually is them. I'm quiet for a moment, letting the silence drag out as I know Amicus well enough at this point that he's got his ears pointed up, waiting for me to respond. Trust me. Like, seriously, you need to trust me on this, Amicus. Amicus spends his own moment being quiet, resting his cheek against my head, contemplating. Do you trust me? There's only a short pause. Alright, yes, I do trust you. There's a sense of conviction in his voice, and I can tell that he really is determined to believe me. Thank you. But I only say that because of something else that happened. What was that? I take a deep breath. Amicus, sensing my anxiety, suddenly turns me on his lap to face him, letting me lay my head against his chest as he pats the side of my face. Hey, you can tell me anything, Marco. Like I said, I believe you. He says it even more firmly this time, tipping his muzzle down to look at me as I look up at him, meeting eyes. Alright, so I was in the archives with Virginia yesterday. Amicus' eyes widen. The archives? What were you doing in there? This reminds me that I also need to tell Amicus about what we've been plotting this past week. I'll tell you in a bit, but something happened when I was hooked up to the machine. You connected with it? Why would... In a bit. Anyway, while I was hooked up, I had another vision from the parents. Amicus thinks. Well, I suppose that would make more sense considering that's the way the Emperor speaks with them. But it's only the Emperor they speak to. Yeah, well, for whatever reason, they started talking to me. Actually, you started talking to me. Me? I think so. You were like yelling, telling me that you didn't want me to leave you. Oh, well, that does sound like something I would say in a situation. I just sounded really scared and sad, and I felt like I couldn't breathe. My throat hurt, and it just felt weird. Amicus seems to contemplate all of this, but doesn't say anything more. I started to get frustrated, but I realized that I can't really expect her to offer more information that I already don't know. I guess I just hope that he will have more insight into why parents do things the way that they do. But really, I'm on my own figuring this out. I sigh and lean my head against the wolf's chest. Hey, what's wrong? I'm sure you'll be fine. The parents are very mysterious. My father had several visions he had trouble interpreting. I feel like something bad is going to happen, like really bad, and I don't know what it is that I should do to stop it. Did they give you any guidance at all? They just said to give in to their benevolent will or something like that. Amicus gently pushes me back so that he can really look me directly before he smiles gently. Well, there's your answer. The parents only want what is best for us all. Just follow their guidance, keep your mind and heart open to them, and all will turn out as it should. Those sentences wouldn't be out of place during a sermon in a church on earth, and I'm reminded again just how these parents really are as seen as gods. It's a comforting thought. Ugh, I'm sorry, something is in my eye. Okay, it's a comforting thought that I could just do as they say and just be fine. Made all the more comforting by having a smile and confidence in the matter. But there's a nagging feeling in the back of my mind that there's more to the parents than the wolves seem to know. I lower my voice a bit. I just don't know if I trust them. Amicus laughs, and that actually does annoy me. Hey, I'm serious. There's something off about all this, like the way they're going about things. If they want me to do something, then they should just tell me instead of showing me scary visions. Amicus forces himself to stop laughing and clears his throat, trying to look serious. I'm sorry, Marco. I just forget that you're outside the galaxies and aren't accustomed to these things. The parents are nothing but benevolence and goodwill. We all feel their guidance in our lives, even if we're not able to speak to them directly like the Emperor. The fact that you're able to do so is an incredible honor. You should happy, not worry. That's a typo. That's like the third one I've seen. Third or fourth. But it's still good. You should be happy, not worried. Amicus strokes my hair. Yeah, but don't you think me being an outsider gives me a different perspective about all this? What if they aren't what they say they are? They are, and they have no reason not to be. Amicus' voice becomes more firm, and I can tell that he's starting to become uncomfortable with my questions. My advice to you? Listen to them. They will help you, and maybe even figure out a way to get us out of this mess. Besides, it's a great relief to know that you may be here for a reason. I'm starting to think I was meant to find you. Amicus hugs me again. I decide not to press further. I love and trust Amicus, but he's clearly on board with anything to do with the parents, and I doubt I'd be able to make him question that. Not that I really want to anyway. I just worry that I'm being led down a path that I really don't want to go down. Oh, Marco. Amicus, clearly sensing my continuing anxiety, pulls me forward to kiss me. I kiss back, and it feels good even though my stomach continues to churn. 10 minutes remaining, Marco. Calm uses his loud voice to call down to us from the top of the ladder. Amicus and I sigh in unified frustration. Want to have a little fun before you go? I look down, and I'm kind of amazed to see that he still has a boner, which makes me wonder how much he'd really been engaged in our conversation. I have to tell you, I catch myself and lower my voice. What we've been doing to get you out. You can do that. And other things at the same time. Oh, God. Amicus tries not to look too eager. I roll my eyes, but press my hand against his chest and draw it slowly down the wolf's front, over the curve of his stomach. He immediately moans quietly as I reach the lower part of his abdomen. I see the bulge jump in his underwear, and his hips even thrust up a bit too. Are we really doing this? I laugh at his eagerness, and I have to admit that it's kind of nice to have something more lighthearted to do while I discuss all these troubling issues with my wolf. Did he? I'm glad it cut. If it, I'm glad that it jump cut, so we don't have to go through that. If it did happen, I would assume it did. So we can just move on. Excuse me. For the next little while, I walk around the gardens, taking advantage of the mild weather. I've noticed it's become cooler and less humid over the past week, which is nice. Apparently, this is as cold as it gets on this part of Adastra, though, and it never snows. I sigh and sit on a bench, thinking back on my meeting with Amicus just an hour ago. And I've been eager to say goodbye to the wolf this time, especially now that I know Cassius is willing to let us see each other as much as is possible. That being whether Kaler is out, which is good, because he's gone a lot of the time, doing his official business or whatever. Amicus, once again, had recommended I distance myself from the plotting so not to get caught up if we get exposed. I reassure him, though I know I'm going to do whatever it takes to see this through, even if it means I have to put myself in danger. I don't want Amicus to be down there for another day. Just yesterday, Cassius, or Cato, banned all talk of Amicus on Adastra, which Neferu told me only caused the rumors to really start flying. They range from Amicus being in prison, which is true, banished, or even executed. This is good for us, I'm told, because the public, whether they like Amicus or not, generally doesn't feel like he should be struck from existence just because he lost the emperorship. In other words, the people will likely be on our side when we finally reveal everything. Hopefully. That's really all we can rely on, considering the Emperor holds so much power, even if the way it was archived was illegitimate. The Trump race barely checked the Emperor's power, so unless the people as a whole come together, it would be difficult to remove Cassius from the throne. If Cassius still refuses to step down, our options will be very limited, and most probably won't turn out well for me, or anywhere here that's not part of the family. Still, Cassius is proud, very proud. Nefer and Virginia think he'll either step down or at least accept combat to go out with honor. Hopefully the first, because I really don't know how Amicus would deal with the idea of having to kill his brother. I sigh and lean back on the bench, really getting frustrated with all this political bullcrap. That had been the exact type of thing Cassius wanted to get rid of, but now it just seems worse than ever. Just as I'm thinking this, I see Alex. He's just up the path, standing right in the middle of it. And he's looking at me. I give a start, then I just stare back at him. He doesn't move, just goes on looking at me, and I start to wonder what the hell he's doing. He doesn't have his usual smile on either, and as a soft breeze blows through the leaves and foliage, I start to feel like I'm in some sort of horror movie. Actually, now that I know who he really is, I do start to feel a little concerned about what he's capable of. So I decide to act casual and stand up, raising a hand and walking over to the cat. Hey, Alex. Alexios will do, Marco. Okay. Hi, Alexios. It's up be with you, Marco. What? I feel things should be more formal between us from now on. That is all. No, I mean, why that greeting? I heard Neferu use it many times, but no one else. You are a Chemian, are you not? That gives me pause. Oh, yeah, I guess I am. The cat smirks. Odd. You seem to have forgotten your own citizenship. I shrug. Still getting used to it. I mean, it's something that even some siblings desire. Not to mention children, or even the uncontacted. I raise an eyebrow. That's so. Certainly. Wouldn't want to be part of the most spoiled civilization in the galaxy. I sigh, still tired from thinking of all this political maneuvering. Playing games with Alexios is the last thing I want to do right now. Cut the bull crap, Alex. What do you want? Excuse me? You're excused. I walk past the cat, listening to him sputter in surprise. You have some nerve to talk to a sibling like that. I frown, glancing back. What's that supposed to mean? You're not even a child, yet you throw your weight around here like you're the most important person in the palace. I laugh loud. I see the cat's ears pinned back. Are you freaking kidding me? All you assholes have been throwing me around like all your plots and fake niceties. I'm just trying to survive. Also, last time I checked, Chemians are all equal, so I don't really give a crap if you're a sibling. Alex was completely taken aback, which is completely satisfying. Haven't you always implied that the wolves are all screwed up for looking down on their children and treating them like slaves? I was close to clear his throat. My apologies. I simply lost my temper for a moment. You were just being a bit rude. Or maybe deep down you're just as specious or whatever as the wolves, even though you try to pretend you're not. Neferu's the same way. Even I'm surprised at myself a little. It's like the lid is finally blown off. I'm just using Alex to vent all of my frustrations with this place. What has gotten into you, Marco? There's a long pause, and I finally sigh and rub in my face. Sorry, I think I'm losing my mind here. For the first time in a while, I see the cat crack a genuine smile. I could tell that you're not meant to be a diplomat. Definitely not. For a moment, I feel that old familiar kinship I had with the cat not even a few weeks ago. I do believe that in any other situation, and one where we're not all spies, Alex and I could have been really good friends. I know that it can't be the case now, so I stop smiling and look Alex right in the eye. Or Alexios in the eye, excuse me. But seriously, what do you want? I could tell you're trying to get something out of me. Alex becomes serious too, smile fading. He considers me for a long while, probably realizes that I'm not going to play his little game. Alright, Marco, who are you? I know you're not an abandoned child. What is it you want, and what are you doing here? So you want to know everything? Yes. And why should I tell you? Alex smirks. Why, be blunt if we're going to play the game anyway, Marco. I'm just curious as to why you're so curious. I hardly matter in all of this. That is a complete lie. Everything has changed here since you arrived. This is why I want to know. But why does it matter that you know? I am an important link between Morpha and Adastra. It is my job to know what is happening in this empire. Uh-huh. So who told you that I'm uncontacted? Cassius? You deduced correctly, but I also know that the monitors seem to approve of it, which is rather odd. I shrug. Again, I don't know what's going on. Anyway, I don't see why I tell you anything if I don't know anything about you. Well, I'm just a simple pet. I don't know anything that's going on. His tone of voice tells me that he's mocking me. I raise an eyebrow, but don't say anything. Alex sighs. The simplest way that I can explain is that I'm trying to maintain peace in the Galaxias as a whole. That mainly involves watching the motives of the wolves. Why is that? Because they can be dangerous. Okay, are none of the other siblings dangerous? Marco, Adastra is the only civilization in the galaxy to wage war on another sibling in over 10 millennia, and they were the perpetrators in the previous war as well. Not only that, but they wage war on an almost parent-level civilization. They're suicidal, and I can't imagine why the Chemians want an alliance with them. I think. Do you not want the alliance to happen? This seems to go against what Alex would want. I thought he wanted Amicus to take the throne. I want the Galaxias to remain safe. Is the alliance something you would want to happen? I frowned, wondering why he's asking me. I mean, to me, it seems like it would create peace, so yes. Alex's eyes narrow, like he's figured something out. What? Do you want the wolves to stay isolated? I just want order. The wolves have none of that. Alexio is a Templar. I knew it. The silence stretches out between us. I suppose you're still not going to tell me anything about yourself then? I didn't say I would, but there really isn't much to tell. How about this? How did you secure a Chemian citizenship? That's not something that's just given out to children who are presumed to belong to the wolves. The question takes me by surprise, though this whole Chemian thing does seem to be what's bothering him most, especially after his greeting. I think, but the truth doesn't seem harmful here. Honestly, it was just to protect me from Cassius. He doesn't really like me, if you haven't noticed. The expression on Alex's face tells me that he definitely doesn't believe me. Cassius wasn't harm you unless you did something that deserved it. He said he wanted to execute me because I backtalked him and Amicus smacked his nose. Alex's ears flattened. Cassius says things. He's very passionate. That's one way to put it. I shift on my feet, starting to get tired of this conversation. Listen, I have nothing against you, Alex. I'm just trying to get through this as much as you are. Neferu gave you the citizenship, right? Yeah. And you're working with him to make the alliance a reality, correct? That stops me. What? No, I'm focused on Amicus right now. Alex glares. Which is still part of the alliance. I guess so, but honestly, that's not really my top priority right now. It is part of your top priority. I'm getting frustrated. I start to sidle out toward the palace. Yeah, we established that. Listen, I'm gonna go lay down. I'm tired. Alex goes on staring as he doesn't say anything. Again, I have nothing against you. I hope that we could just go back to normal in the future once this is over, you know? Indeed. With that, Alex turns and walks away up the path, leaving me to stare after him. I decided to ask Neferu about what happened with Alex. I know they had some kind of relationship going on, so maybe he can enlighten me on the cat's motives. My mouth is already open as I'm walking into the bedroom when I'm hit with a blast of sound. Hey! 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 Okay! Okay! Hey! 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 Okay. Alright. I like this music is probably going to get hit with copyright, but of course. In front of me is Neferu with his back to me, though I can see that he is in his underwear. He's moving fluidly around, arms and paws waving about and pausing at odd angles with his feet sliding across the ground, gliding back and forth. At first I think he's doing some kind of exercise, but then I can hear him singing over the music. It's wordless because it doesn't translate through the lingua, just some sort of howling sound, though very different from the wolves. It's very loud, and it's a wonder I couldn't hear it in the hallway. It doesn't necessarily sound bad, but I can tell Neferu isn't putting much effort into making it sound nice. Still, I feel like I'm walking in on something private, so I consider backing out. Of course, that's when he spins around and immediately spots me standing there in front of the door, my mouth still open. Quickly, I fix my face into a pleasant smile, try to act casual so I don't embarrass him. Oh, hey, Neferu. I pause to see Neferu grinning back at me. I was just, are you okay? I have to almost shout over the music. The Jackal is swaying back and forth a little bit, almost like he's still dancing. Oh, Marco, what an incredibly pleasant and joyous surprise. Thanks? The Jackal begins to dance again, facing me this time, though he doesn't sing, thankfully. Are you okay? Better than I've ever been, my simian friend. What do you think of the music? Neferu nods at the ceiling. It's nice. Kinda loud. I'm sorry, I need to hear sounds from home every now and then. The wolves have no spice in their music. The jackal sliced his paws sensitively over his torso, smoothing the fur down to better incinerate his pecs and abs, his eyes glued to mine. I look around and note the 3 bottles of wine on the bedside table. Oh, you're drunk. I'm drunk. Neferu spins in a circle and actually almost loses his balance, something I've never seen him do. I've seen him bust before, but he's always managed to keep his composure. But now? How drunk? Too drunk, but... Neferu steadies himself against the pillar, leaning and rubbing his head against it. At the same time, I'm not drunk enough. I quickly make sure the door is closed behind me before moving closer to the jackal. Do you need some help? What? I raise my voice above the music. Do you? Neferu waves his paw at me. Wait, come, pause music. Pausing, dancing amongst the dunes by Heket. I need another drink. Neferu reaches out toward the table, and even though it's a good 10 feet away, and I look over to see that one of them is half full. There's a pause, then Neferu opens his eyes, frowning at me. I said I need a drink, Marco. And what do you think I'm going to do? Wow. And what do you think I'm going to do about that? You're a slave. You know what to do.
What did he say?
Say that again. Excuse me? You are a slave. Neferu points a finger in my direction with every word. Don't let the wolves tell you any different. As long as you are here, they are your master. But you were treating me like a slave just now. I was making... Neferu pauses as he makes a strange swallowing hiccuping sound. I was making a point clearly. Sorry, shall I simplify my words for you? The jackal goes on, staring at the bottle, as if wondering if it's worth to make the journey there. He turns his back to me, as if remembering that I'm there, though he seems to have trouble focusing his eyes. Don't worry, Marco. I'm just as much of a slave as you are. You have the advantage of someday leaving, though. I move closer, deciding to sit on my bed while Neferu goes on hugging at the pillar, as if letting go will cause him to fall. That wouldn't be good considering the fountain is right there. You can't leave whenever you want? Neferu chuckles, then falls, another sound I've never heard from him. You don't understand. I can leave, but I can't leave. Yeah, I don't think I do understand. Suddenly Neferu's ears flatten. You really messed this up for me, do you understand that? I blink. Whoa, what? You messed with my life. This time Neferu uses his foot to point at me, or really just sort of kicking it in my direction. What the hell are you talking about? If you hadn't come here, Kata would have had the excuse to nullify Amicus's emperorship. I would be halfway through negotiating an alliance by now. Wait, this isn't my fault. I was brought here against my will, Neferu. Neferu makes another deep swallowing sound, and then just belches loudly. Yes. I'm sorry. I forget it's mostly that big idiot's fault. I feel my temper snap and I stand up. Now is not the time I wanted to find out that my most important ally actually blames me and my boyfriend for the situation he's in. Hey, I know you're drunk, but I'm not going to listen to you say this. I'm not going to listen to you say this crap. You can call me back when you're sobered up and stop feeling sorry for yourself. I stop walking toward the door, feeling a little sick at the whole situation. If Neferu really is turning on me, that means the only person I can trust here is in a dungeon. I really would be alone. Wait. His voice is so quiet that I'm almost not even sure if I heard it. I pause though, looking back over my shoulder. He's still leaning up against the pillar, his ears down, gazing at the ground. I'm about to ask him to repeat himself, but that's when he suddenly lets out a gasp and slides down the pillar into his knees. He crumbles onto the ground, paws covering his face as he trembles and starts to sob loudly. I'm sorry. I don't know what I'm doing. I stare open-mouthed, watching the jackal cry for several seconds. Apparently, too drunk means way too drunk. Still, this jackal clearly has a lot of problems that he doesn't tell anyone about. Actually, he doesn't have anyone to tell them to on this alien moon. At least, I have Amicus. So after standing there in stunned silence for a moment, I walk over to Neferu. I stand awkwardly at his side for a moment, watching his broad, black-furred shoulders heave up and down before I kneel and rest a hand on his back. I see his ears perk up for a moment in reaction, but otherwise he doesn't say anything. I'm generally not the best at comforting someone, especially when they're crying, but I roll my hand in a circle through the fur. Hey, I get it. This whole thing is really frustrating, but we'll figure this out together. I give the jackal a few minutes to finally calm down. Then I start to pull him up, pushing him in the direction of his bed. He doesn't resist and stumbles up to it before falling face down on the covers. He wipes his face with a pillow, and while he does that, I quickly grab the wine bottles, moving them to the floor so they're out of his reach. Finally, Neferu lets out a big, shuddery sigh. Can you rub my back again? It feels good. The jackal's voice is stuffy from his clogged nose. Sure. I kneel beside the bed before starting to rub Neferu's back again. He sighs, head turned away from me. I let the silence go on for a while, listening to the jackal sniffing every couple of seconds before I finally speak. So, what happened? I drank. Yeah, speaking of which, calm. Bring us a glass and pitcher of water, please. Yes, Marco. And, take the wine bottles away, too. Yes, Marco. No, my precious woven wine! Neferu says it in a mocked and sad voice, but combined with his already sad state, there's not much of a difference. Again, what happened? I don't know. I realize how challenging this will all be. I can't say I trust the woven people to oust Cassius. They're rather accepted of corrupt officials. I think, trying to approach this delicately. Is your family making you do this? Like, they won't let you come back until you cultivate the alliance? My family doesn't even expect me to accomplish that, but that's why I must do it. If I don't, I might as well be banished. It seems kind of unfair that they put all this on you. After what I put them through, it's only fair. I wait for more of an explanation, but he doesn't go on. So is what Alex said on the islands about you and the family true? More or less. Again, he doesn't seem interested in talking about it, so I just go on to rubbing his back. Well, I'm going to get the Amicus out of the dungeon and onto the throne. I know you don't believe that I talked to the parents, but I really think I have, and they're on our side. Neferu chuckles. So you'll get the alliance. I hope so, my friend. We sit in silence for a long while, and even I start to enjoy the hypnotic motion of rubbing Neferu's furry back in a large spiral motion. My mind wanders back to the cat. Speaking of Alex, I had a weird conversation with him today. I think he thinks we're like conspiring against him or something. Neferu grunts. Stay away from that cat. He's nothing but trouble. Well, he kept bringing up the alliance. He seems to want to know my role in it. Neferu turns his face toward me, his bloodshot eyes, with his eyes bloodshot, but the tears dried up at this point. I assume it has something to do with not wanting the alliance to happen? Yeah. Neferu takes a deep breath and presses his face into the pillow, let out a long groan. Ugh. All I can say is don't trust him. Yeah, definitely not. I just don't really get what he's doing. Neither do I, and that's why you should stay away from him. Really? I thought you two, I don't know, talked and did stuff together. Which didn't shed any light on his motives. Considering the way our relationship has changed, I doubt I'll get any more information from him. Sure you can't just seduce him again? Neferu cracks a smile. Last time I tried that, he referred to me as a whore, which isn't exactly inaccurate. The doors open and a drone glides in, setting water down on the bedside table and fetching the bottles from behind the jackal's bed. Neferu watches it go mercilessly. I clear my throat, trying to distract her from the departing alcohol. I get what you mean, though. Seems like he favors one side, then the other. I don't get it. Neferu waves his paw. Best not to worry yourself with him and simply stay away. Amorphins are famous for their quirks and seemingly contradictory behavior. Alright. I rub for a while longer, switching hands as my arms start getting tired. I'm starting to think that the jackal is falling asleep when he suddenly speaks again, jolting me out of my trance. We'll be revealing our hand to Cassius tomorrow. With any luck, Amicus would be free by the end of the week. Oh. I'm surprised, finding that hard to take in. I knew this would be coming, but not too soon. How are we going to do that? Well, we have 3 pieces of information that can help us. The first is the footage from the 3rd trial. Hopefully that would be enough to convince Cassius to step down. Neferu suddenly shifts and slowly sits up, groaning again before reaching for the pitcher and glass of water. The second is the footage of Cato attacking me. I'd rather we not have to use that, but if Cassius is convinced by the first, then we may have to resort to it. Neferu drinks deeply from the glass as I watch him impatiently as he drains the entire thing. And the third? Neferu gasps and leans back, setting the glass down. Remember your little theory about the previous Emperor's accident? I nod. Alex said the investigation was botched. Neferu glances at me. The fact that the cat tipped you off is worrying, but it is very odd. The investigation wasn't botched, but rather called off by the acting emperor. Cato? Indeed. The investigators were only able to get as far as discovering a possible malicious software installed on the ship's navigation system. Considering software has to be installed through a port, and the ship is heavily protected whenever outside the palace, the installation likely would have happened while inside the palace. So, Cato, Neferu chuckles. More than likely, yes, but I don't understand why. Cato was good friends with the last emperor, and as far as I could tell, he was supportive of his policies. Well, how people will act on the outside doesn't really seem to matter much around here. Or anywhere. What convinced me of Cato's involvement, however, is the fact that every single investigator has gone missing since. What? Mm-hmm. I start to feel that icy fear on my chest again. If it is Cato, then he really is ruthless. What I saw happen to that Dr. Felix could only be a taste of what Cato is capable of. Unfortunately, because there is no solid evidence linking Cato, I'm afraid it might not be very effective. It could be another last resort, though. Anyway, would you like to go with Virginia to try to convince him with this information? Really? You've been trying to get me to stay out of the way for the past week. To keep you safe, but I noticed that Cassius may have taken a liking to you as of late. You know him to some degree and can use that knowledge to better convince him. Well, I wouldn't say he likes me, but yeah, I could try. And as I said, Virginia would be there to help as well. I assume you're not going? Neferu smirks. I'm the last person who would want to see while discussing the possible end of his rule. Besides, I know I'm not going to be feeling my best tomorrow. I think I'll stay in bed for once. Drink more water. Neferu sighs, just sort of looking at the pitcher. I roll my eyes, reaching out to pour him another glass. Oh, how kind of you. I'm a slave, right? Neferu winces as he takes the glass from me. No, you're a Chemian, and I think we'll be very proud to have you. With that, he once again downs the entire thing. All right, we are going to call it here. I do believe this is a good stopping point for this part. Another lot more to take in. Things are really starting to heat up. I feel like we're now getting to maybe the third act of this story. This has been going on for quite a while. I don't remember what part we're on. This is like uh, 12, 13. I'll get there eventually, but I'm really enjoying all of this, and some interesting things have been revealed. Got to see Alex's true self, and we see Neferu's vulnerable side. Everything is, whew, it's a lot. And so I'm gonna call it here. Thank you all so much for watching. If you like what you saw, be sure to give this video a thumbs up, share it with your friends, share it with your family, subscribe to my channel, check out the other content that I've done. And tune in next time, we'll continue on and try to see if we can convince Cassius to concede the throne and give Amicus the right to be emperor. And so, this is Master Guil, and I'll see you on the next part of Adastra.